Hi everyone, this is your Tuzo DNB Academy, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I usually go about making interesting top or hi-hat loops and how to get from a basic hi-hat loop to something a little bit more interesting. So without further ado, let's get into the program. Okay, so before we get started, let me go ahead and show you guys the loop that I prepared for the video. Cool. So we're mainly going to be focusing on the hi-hats. I've made a bunch of videos on how to make the snares, kicks, and all that. So today's main focus is on how to make better hi-hat loops. So what do I mean by better? Just overall a little bit more interesting hi-hat loops or hi-hat textures to kind of layer on top of your acoustic sounding hi-hat samples or whatever it may be. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys a little bit of what I do for my tops and stuff like that, and how I get, you know, intricate kind of patterns, or at least interesting, in my opinion, patterns on top of my kick and snare. So here we kind of have two sections. First 16 bars is just with the main hi-hat on the third beat, and then it has the kind of rolling, faster type of hi-hats in the second half. So let me just show you what it sounds like without texture, because I use texture to make kind of interesting variations on the actual hi-hats. And this is just a hi-hat that's being made from an air cannon noise inside of Serum with a amplitude envelope set on the level. And then I have some white noise that's being EQ'd, and also kind of modified the attack and the decay of the white noise. So it has this kind of a swoosh type of sound. And then I have layered that hi-hat that I made inside Serum with a texture VST, and this is adding another hi-hat sound on top, but I've pitched that up, and I've also filtered it, and I played with the decay a little bit. Right. So you can do that, makes it kind of grittier and just a bit more interesting overall. I've then grouped the kind of a rolling hi-hat that I had there on the second portion of the percussive group, and I've also added a texture in that group. So this is another hi-hat sound being layered on top with a mix all the way almost at the bottom, and with a decay of 89 milliseconds. And so you can basically choose, you know, kind of effect that you want to generate here, or you can even automate the actual decay, which is something that I do a lot in some of my tracks. And this basically allows you to have a different type of release on whatever kind of hit that you want, so that generates some cool results sometimes, and you can play around with that. Right, so you can generate some cool accents there and basically play around with that and generate some kind of different releases for some of the hits. So let's choose a different type of texture for this one, just so that you can hear how you can basically generate different types of results. So we can generate different results by choosing another type of noise here. Maybe play around with the paper bag one. Just play around with it. There you go. You can also modulate the actual decay of that LFO sound and make it so that it gradually kind of gets opened up. Make sure to put it in free so it plays at a different type of position every time that the LFO gets triggered here in the first one. So let's just listen to that by itself. You can also put it so that it moves in the x-axis. You can also set the LFO2 to the x-axis and have that move around as well. Let's also put that LFO onto the pitch of the noise. That's also a cool option. You can also put it to the pan as well. Just to make it a little bit wider. So here the decay is getting a bit longer as it gradually starts playing, you know. And what we can do here is, yeah, we already got a texture loaded there, so let's just open that or duplicate it, just so that we don't mess around with the original settings there. And we can experiment here. Basically, we can start layering other types of sounds, seeing what sounds good. Nice. And the cool thing about this is that then you can, resample it, freeze and flatten it, and change the speeds of it, and generate some really, really cool texturized types of shakers or tambourines here that can really add a lot of movement to your track. So let's just go ahead and resample it and just make it a tad bit faster and see how that sounds. So once you've resampled it, you can just open up the actual sample, and everything that was flattened will be in one big kind of loop here. And what we're going to do is just warp it. So let's go ahead and press this button right here, and just take a look at how it sounds. See if we put it on complex mode, how it sounds. Cool. And now we can basically juggle these hits around and see what kind of works and what kind of loops seamlessly, what kind of results that we can get this way. So what I'm going to do is just press Control D here, duplicate these portions of the hi-hats, and I'm going to press Control Shift to kind of surf around the actual length of the loop and see what I can find that would help me. And see what I can find that would help me with creating an interesting kind of groove in my track. Nice. That sounds pretty cool. See, maybe a little bit faster. Nice. We just have this first portion start like this, and then we'll duplicate this second half, and then do that again like that. Silence here in the middle and duplicate it again. Nice. And then we could do the same trick here, just juggle these samples around, see what we can find. Nice. This was badass. So what I would do here is I would duplicate it and kind of keep searching for another one and see if I come across another interesting variation. Wow. Now this generates a very interesting groove on our hi-hats. Nice. Compared to our other option. Nice. Cool. And as you can see, we can kind of scroll through these all day and try to find different variations. But the important part here is for you to actually play around in your own DAW and see what kind of variations that you can make with this method. So again, this is Yatuza with DNB Academy, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you enjoyed it, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notifications for our next one. And as always, thanks for watching.